Alright, what's going on everybody? Mark389 here with another video on the RS4 Evo. We're going to do a little overview on the vehicle, things that I like, things that I dislike, a few of the changes that I made. Nothing too serious, so let's get into it. Try to make this a quick one. Alright, so I don't even know where to start with this classic vehicle. It's such an iconic car. So I guess we'll start with a few of the things that I dislike, which is not many. The vehicle is solid pretty much from front to back. Pretty much the only things that's bad with it is on the opposite side is the battery box and then the fuel tank placement. The fuel tank is fine itself, but the placement is just horrible for the fuel tank that's in the vehicle. I know people have found fuel tanks that fit, that they got to fit, that they made work or whatnot, but I kind of like sticking to original hardware as far as not having to modify anything too much, as we'll go into a little more detail when I show you some of the things that I have done, which you can see because they stick out like a sore thumb. But let's get into it, and I'm going to start at the front of the vehicle. Alright, so here we go up at the front of the car. There's not many things I've done to the car. Most of the things I've done what I believe is a purpose. So that's what I've done it. And there's nothing wrong with putting a little bling on your car if that is your purpose. But I feel like what I've done help give a little more rigidity and stability to the vehicle itself. So one of the first things I've done is staring at you right in the face, and that's the shock tower. I replaced that because, like I said, I feel like it's a little more firm, it's a little more rigid. The only problem with this is that it's actually thinner here, so the screws here and here actually poke out, which is not that big of a deal because it still holds. There's nothing loose about this. Oh, someone's dropped it. There's nothing loose about this at all, so you're totally fine there. So if you do decide to get this aluminum arm, I got it from Amazon. I think there's only one brand up there. Just be prepared for those screws to poke out. So be prepared to get some smaller ones or to just let them poke out like I did. That's my only tip for you there. And then one of the other things I've done was the bulkhead at the bottom, because it gives you a little more stability from front end impacts, and it's just a little more stable for your diff case, and it also holds your control arms. As you can see right there, that little silver piece, that's a part of that bulkhead. So as you can see, we had plenty of front end impacts, from the foam of the bumper to the plastic being scratched up to the metal itself losing all of its color. As you can see, it's folded here because well, not folded, but you can see the scrape marks end here, and it goes on an angle because this vehicle was actually hit so hard that it folded the chassis itself here. So that's another reason why I got the bulkhead, because it was plastic, so I felt like having an aluminum one would give me a little bit more stability, seeing as this was mangled at one point. Alright, and over here on the exhaust side, we got a little bit of things over here, not nothing too serious. First off, something simple is this silicone extender for your stinger. That way you can keep some of the grime off of your car. You know, we got the inline fuel filter there. One of the main things here is your fuel line routing and your exhaust pressure hose routing. Was basically the length of that. But other than that, we got the stock exhaust, stock header, T 3.0. Then we got a lightweight bump stop flywheel. I know I have a pull start, but it doesn't affect it. It works just fine. And then we have the HPI racing clutch. Don't forget to put your zip ties down at the bottom of your fuel line. It goes behind the post and over the fuel line, so it doesn't bounce up and go into your gears. That's still possible if you don't put that zip tie down at the bottom. I also put this zip tie up here just to make it a little more stable. Make sure you don't push your hose down too far, because you can still form a kink back here. What else? I think that's about it over here, and I think we should be able to go to the back. There's not much going on back here, so we should be just about done here. So there's not too much going on back here. I kept the stock body posts because they have a little bit of give to them, but the mount that those go onto, I got that aluminum just because it looks good, and I think it also looks good with the aluminum mount here, with the post in black. And then I got the shock tower as well, just for stability for the shocks. When I go over bumps, same reason I got the front. I didn't get the bulkhead yet, but that's my next plan is to get that bulkhead when I purchase the bearings. So those will be coming in a future video. Alright guys, so that's about it on this side. All I did was the servos with some cheap Amazon servos because the original ones were like 20 years old, so I had to get those out of there. They were starting to jitter and stuff like that. I replaced the receiver and transmitter years ago with a Spectrum one, but it's pretty much outdated, so I'm definitely gonna have to do that again. And I'm also thinking of putting a couple more aluminum parts in here. I'm just gonna have to figure out exactly what I want to do at the moment, and then I'll figure out how I want to post it. You know, you guys let me know what you think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. You know, get out there, burn as much nitro as you can, and have fun, guys. Thank you.